Hey everyone, Caleb. Welcome back to the shop. Thank you for joining me again. You might notice we're in some new surroundings. We recently moved out to Arizona to be near family. Most of my family lives out here where we're living now in the high desert, northern part of Arizona near Prescott. And that kind of inspired me to pick up a new rifle for Western hunting, big game out here in the desert, the high country, and the long ranges. So I'm going to talk to you today about the Bergara B14 Wilderness Sierra in 7mm PRC. Thank you for joining me again. All right, there's a lot of changes that have been going on in the shop lately, so I haven't been able to put out any video work. Just moving cross country is a heck of a process, but we're out here in the West now, back to the West where I grew up, and most of my family lives around here, but I haven't hunted big game out here in a long time. I haven't hunted in the West in a long time. The last time I did was out in Colorado and Wyoming, and it was mostly varmints and stuff like that, so I didn't really need a big game rifle, but there's a lot more opportunity around here for hunting stuff like elk and long range shooting for muleys and stuff like that. So I needed a little bit different cartridge and a little bit different type of rifle for this environment specifically. It's something I've been thinking about for a very long time. And I wanted to try out the 7 PRC from Hornady. So Hornady came out with the 7 PRC a few years ago. It's a 7mm projectile optimized for long range hunting. It's really like an upgraded version of the 7mm mag and kind of takes all the great wonderful things about the 7mm mag, modernizes it a little bit, makes it a little better for high ballistic coefficient modern projectiles. So going through the catalog of rifles, I was on the fence of whether or not to build one or buy one, and I've looked at the Savage Model 110 Timberline, really liked it. I looked at the Bergaras and stuff like that, and the CBA Cascades. I have a great CBA Cascade in 6.5 Creedmoor, and CBA Cascade is the parent company of that is Bergara, so their barrels are all the same, that type of thing. And I've gotten really great accuracy out of that Cascade action, so I wanted to try the actual Bergara. And instead of going for the full top end, $15, $16, $2,000 rifles, I wanted to go for their mid-priced rifle, which is the Wilderness B14 series. So I went to the local gun store, picked this up today. I just got it out of the box. It is the Bergara Wilderness Sierra B14. The difference being the stock on this one. I'm going to go ahead and break down the basics and the specs of what this rifle actually is, and some of the features I really love about it that kind of drew me to it after I put my hands on it in the store, picked it up, moved around with it, worked the action and looked at the barrel and the weight and length and all that stuff, and found that like this is going to be a great Western long range big game hunting rifle. So far as the cartridge goes, the caliber, the 7mm PRC, there's nothing on the planet you can't shoot with this gun, pretty much. The 7 PRC is one of those type of cartridges that is versatile for everything. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with it personally shooting it, but just looking at the ballistic math and familiarity with other cartridges in its category, I think it's really an optimized cartridge for killing just about any daggum game animal you need to kill, including African game. This right here with the right bullet selection, I think can do it. So let's jump right into the specs. All right, to start off with, this is the Sierra. Okay, so the Wilderness Sierra version, meaning the stock is the biggest part of that change to the Bergara B14 action on the Wilderness edition with the barrel profile and all that. So the rifle weighs just about 7.1 pounds according to Bergara's website, so that's a pretty lightweight rifle. It's not going to be super heavy for trucking up and down mountains with and stuff like that, but it's still got enough of a heft to it to kind of mitigate some of that recoil from the 7 PRC and provide a good balanced overall weight class for a rifle that's not too heavy, not too light, just right, like Goldilocks. On that note, it's got a 22-inch fluted number 5 tapered barrel with a 1 in 8 twist. So the barrel is made for those heavier 180 grain, 175 grain 7mm projectiles. The 22-inch barrel gives you plenty of velocity for the 7 PRC without being ungainly and broomstick-like, or like you're running around the woods with a jousting lance, which nobody really likes to do. Suppressed use, it is threaded 5/8/24 with a radial muzzle brake on it, so you could put a suppressor on this thing pretty darn easy, which I intend to do in the future. I'm going to do some testing first without the suppressor just to see how the recoil is with the radial muzzle brake provided, just to kind of test it out, see what it's all about. The barrel is a 4150 chromoly V barrel. These are fantastic barrels. If you've never shot a Bergara barrel, either in the CBA or in the Bergara rifles, they're stinking fantastic barrels. I've gotten really great use and luck and accuracy out of these, any of them that I've ever shot. It is a long action, so you have a little bit longer length of pull, not obnoxious. You know, it's a standard, what we call a standard action in a Remington 700, the standard being the long action. So let's get into the stock. What makes this different than some of the other in the Wilderness series is the Sierra stock. The Sierra style stock, it comes with an adjustable length of pull in that it is provided with spacers. So you got these 3/4 inch spacers. You can adjust your length of pull. This one came from the factory set just about dead on for what I need. It's on the shorter side. It's at the very bottom of the adjustment. You have your comb height adjustment. This is a major upgrade to the Sierra, the Wilderness style rifles in the Sierra stock is your comb height adjustment. That's huge. Single Allen bolt here, up and down you go, life is good. The bottom metal for this is actually already inlet for the M5 detachable bottom metal style inlet. So you could get an aftermarket M5 inlet, put it in here, and you got your AICS magazines for detachable box mags. You can get flush, you can get barricade stop type of things. Many companies out there are making them. They're a fantastic addition and upgrade to a rifle like this, and it's something I'm probably going to think about in the future. The bottom of it right now, the bottom metal right now, I believe it appears to be aluminum, so it is high quality aluminum. It's not plastic. Everything is nice and crisp when you open and shut. It's just got the standard, ADL style dropout bottom metal for what is common for the Remington 700. So 3-round capacity in the internal box magazine, 1 in the pipe. So you got 4 rounds total. The trigger on this thing, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, Bergara has some of the best triggers out there. They really do. If I had to guess, I'm thinking 1.5 pounds, maybe 1.25 pounds. It's not very heavy. It is adjustable. There's a set screw right in here, an Allen screw right there. It's adjustable. I think I'm just gonna leave it where it is from the factory and shoot it and see what happens. The barrel is a nice, beautiful sniper gray Cerakote, which I really enjoy. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't actually think I'm gonna paint this rifle, which would be like the first time in 20 years I haven't painted a rifle. But the Bergara is a beautiful rifle overall. Fit, finish, and function are flawless. I have looked from tip to tang on this thing, looked it over, and it's the stock, even though it is a polymer overmolded stock, it feels hefty. There's not a lot of flex in it, so you're not gonna get barrel whip and slap your barrel. It's free floated down here and all that good stuff. It feels like a solid stock. It feels like a very well-made, dense polymer overmold stock. I haven't taken it apart to look at the internals yet. I kind of hesitate to do that before shooting a rifle from the factory. I've checked and make sure everything's spec'd, torqued down to spec on the bolts and everything. So I'm just gonna get it loaded up and shoot it before I take anything apart, because it feels really great right now. I don't know what the chassis system looks like inside the actual rifle stock, so that's to be determined later. I will look at that when I get my bottom metal in there. Then I'll get a little more into the guts, because I'm at the re-zero it again. 7 PRC is not cheap. I went and bought just 3 boxes of the stuff today, and all 3 that were on the shelf from Hornady. Brother, that'll set you back a paycheck. So, minimal shooting. All right, MSRP on these things is about $10.99, so it's what I would call a mid-priced rifle. It's not your $2,000, $2,500 high-end Gucci rifle. It's not it's not a custom rifle, which can run you upwards of $4 grand. But it's also not your entry-level poverty rifles like the Axis Pros or the Axis rifles and stuff like that, or the Ruger Americans and stuff like that. So it's actually a higher grade rifle than your entry level, but still kind of an affordable price range. I think that around that $1,000 mark at your local gun store. That's the MSRP. Street price is about commensurate with that. I think I paid $10.79, $10.89. So it was pretty darn close. All right, so moving back in here to the bolt. The bolt on this bad boy is a fluted bolt. Really smooth. It's got the tactical knob on it already, so you get your nice big, grip for gripping and ripping and cycling new rounds. It's got that kind of tactical style to it. Smooth as butter though. It's crispy. The whole thing is clean, smooth, deburred. There's no hang-ups, nothing like that. I've been practicing some cycles on it for a long action. It's not bad. I haven't actually owned a long action rifle in 20 years, so haven't shot or owned one. The last one I had was a 300 Weatherby mag, and that will beat the snot out of you. I won't be doing that again. All I'm gonna say is when you're not 20 years old anymore, those Magnums kind of lose some of their allure, I guess you could say. So the 7 PRC, while it is a Magnum style or a long action style cartridge, it's not built like a Magnum. should be a little bit more manageable when it comes to recoil than a 300 Win mag or something like a 7mm mag, stuff like that. So Hornady kind of designed the cartridge that way. All right, for the specs, that's it on the rifle. I'm waiting on the scope to get here. I've got a brand new scope coming in from SWFA's, their Gen 2, which I'm gonna cover in a different video. I'm pretty excited about that. I've wanted to pick one up for a while. The next thing to do is get this on the range once the scope gets here, and start shooting this bad boy, putting down some groups and putting down some velocities, which I will cover in the next video. For right now though, that is all I got on the Bergara B14 Wilderness Sierra in 7 PRC. I'm excited. I've never had this 7 PRC before. I'm excited to shoot it and see what it's all about. I hear that it's the greatest thing since sliced cheese. We're gonna find out. The 7mm caliber projectile is an extremely efficient long-range caliber, extremely efficient at penetration in game and stuff like that, so I'm really excited to see what the 7 PRC is all about. Oh, and I went with a 20-minute Leupold anodized scope base on this thing as well. They had them in stock at the store, so I went ahead and picked one of those up. 20 minutes, because why not? Long range, that's why. So I'm excited. I don't know, this is it's a beautiful rifle. I don't really get excited about factory rifles very much, because I like customs, but this dude feels like a custom rifle. It just has I mean, it just feels good. The butt stock here, the butt pad, let's talk about that real quick. It's not super thick. It's only about a ½ an inch thick of actual rubber. So I don't know how much that's gonna mitigate recoil. We'll see. It's not supposed to beat you up, the 7 PRC does though. I'm gonna eventually put a suppressor on this thing, but I'm gonna run it without first and just see what it's all about. I just am curious to see what the recoil is going to be like on this bad boy, but the thing feels, looks, fits, and functions like a custom almost. It just feels great. Feels great. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I haven't been this excited about a cartridge in a while, since basically like the 6 ARC came out. That was like the last time I felt this excited. But this thing, the number 5 taper barrel, it's a little thicker than normal. So it's not a lightweight, super pencil thin barrel, so I like that. It's like a little thicker, but it's fluted, so it cuts down on the weight. And I think it should hold some pretty consistent groups for pretty long strings of fire, even though the 7 PRC is a little bit hotter of a round than like a 308 or something like that. Barrel life's on it's supposed to be pretty good, pretty decent barrel life and not burn too hot. It's a really efficient cartridge, and we're gonna try out the 3 different types of ammo from Hornady, which are the 175 EOD-X, got that one. I've got the 160 grain CX, got that one, and I've got the 180 grain EOD match, I got that one. So I'm gonna get one of these, whichever one shoots the best, the hunting ammo, dialed in with this sucker when the scope gets here. We're gonna post that data in that video when that comes, and eventually I'll start to work up some handles for this thing. But my dad's got an elk hunt coming up this fall, and I'm gonna see if can't get him to take this rifle and use it, because he's like the elk hunter in the family, like and now that I'm out here, I'll be able to do a lot more with him, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I want to see if he might want to give this a try. He's a 300 Win short mag kind of guy. He shot a lot of game with it, shot a lot of elk, bison, all that good stuff, but let's see if we can't get him to try something new. But y'all have a good one. Be blessed out there, stay safe, and thank you for joining me again. And I will catch you on the next video when we break in the 7 PRC. Donk Slinger. Let's call it the Donk Slinger. The Donk Buster. I'm excited. Let's get to the range.